Hi, this is BRR. In this video, we'll discuss about introduction part and history part of C Sharp. So, when it was, uh, coming to the market, and what are all the features initially it was released to the market, and what was the latest version, and what was the initial version coming in the past decades and past years along with Microsoft. So, we will talk about the introduction part, like the C Sharp is a simple and powerful object-oriented programming language developed by Microsoft. C Sharp can be used to create various type of applications, like web applications and Windows applications and console applications with using Microsoft .NET languages. So these C Sharp, the different kind of applications can be created through Microsoft IDE. So basically, this C Sharp is a Windows programmer go-to language. It's the preferred language for any desktop or web applications that runs on Windows computer. C Sharp is a part of ASP.NET framework, so you will hear it mentioned along with VB.NET, and you have these two language options when you decide to learn Windows platform development. If you prefer C language style syntax, so C Sharp is the direction you should go when learning Windows development. Okay, so when you look at this, the history part of C Sharp.NET, originally the Microsoft developed and deployed an ASP language. So we can call it as classic ASP, and its support has been discontinued now. So, and in 1990s, Microsoft decided to create language that would, compete with Java. So during this time, Java was the most common language, and its popularity was rising. So that time they come into the decision to make a new language in the Microsoft.NET, which give a computation for the Java. So so that that's the reason, like, Microsoft has come up with the C Sharp, and this is one of the newer languages in the market. So you will run into plenty of JavaScript libraries popping up in a certain programming circles, but these are not languages; they are add-on libraries to the JavaScript language. So disregarding all of those JavaScript libraries, C Sharp is one of the newest languages developed by Microsoft. Okay, if you look at this, the history part of this C Sharp language. So initially it was, started with 1.0 .NET Framework 1.0. So it was introduced and released in the market by 2002 year, and it has some basic features. It has been released in the market, like data types and CLS and CTS, and some of the namespaces and conversion types that has been introduced and released in the market. And later in that year, 2012 and 2005, they have come up with .NET Framework 2.0, that is C Sharp 2.0, with generics and partial types and anonymous methods, literatures, nullable types. If you look at generics, like, generic the most powerful features in C Sharp 2.0. So generic allows you to define type scale, type safe data structures without committing to actual data types. This results in a significant performance boost up and high quality touch code, because you get to reuse the data processing algorithms without duplicating type specific code. So if you want to assign and retrieve multiple data types values, you declare the generic data type, and it will look at the specific data type while at runtime. So this is purely type safe data structure feature provided by C Sharp 2.0 in .NET Framework 2.0. And coming to the partial types, if you look at partial types, so it's nothing but partial classes. So this new concept permits the code in a single class structure or interface to be split into more than one code file. Each constructed or constituent part of the type is combined during the compilation process. This is a wonderful approach and wonderful feature that has been provided in the C Sharp 2.0 version. So you can specify multiple classes in a single file and can be compiled during the compilation. Okay, and coming to the anonymous methods, it's nothing but like creating of the variable with a new keyword without specifying the data type and the specific relevant stuff. You can create the object using a new keyword, so that you can use this. The name itself, you can suggest that it's a type that does not have a name. C Sharp allows you to create an object with new keyword without defining the class. So the implicitly typed variable we are using var, so it holds the reference of anonymous types. So that is how it is working in C# .NET, like using of var data type, you can get anonymous types using a new keyword. And literally, like iterators are the one of the new feature which provides a way to create classes that can be used with the for each statement without implementing a enumerator or enumerable interface. When compiler detects iterator, it will automatically generate the current, next, and dispose methods of enumerator this interface. If you look at generally, if you declare an array or a structure and putting this into a for each loop and looping every line, every statement is not possible directly. But when you use this iterator against for any structure or array or class, you can easily iterate into the structure using a for each loop. So this is what the one more feature. And nullable types, this is basically using for assigning a value to the value type variables. And private setters, basically this is comes under as part of class properties. So these set attributes basically. So thing is, you can set the private properties as needed to protect the properties. Private setters came into a more frequent use with the property shorthand that was introduced in this C# 2.0 framework. So these are basically defining in the class. If you look at the class, it's an immutable class that does not change once it is created. So if you want to set some private things to your properties, you use this private setters so that you can change the property values. And coming to the method group conversions, and this is one more new feature being given in this 2.0, again, delegates and covariance, contract variance, static classes. These are the features we have given in the 2.0 framework. When it comes to 3.0, again, we have implicitly typed local variables, object and collection slices, auto-implemented properties, anonymous types, extension methods, query expressions, lambda expressions, expression trees, partial methods. These are the features introduced in 3.0 version, which was released in 2008. And if you look at the next version, 2010 release as a 4.0, it has dynamic binding, that is what late binding, which comes into the picture when you compile the program and executing the program at runtime. And same time, named and optional arguments and generic and countervariance embedded in drop types. So all these new features has been introduced in 4.0 framework in 2010. And coming to the 4.5 framework, in 2013, they have introduced async feature to execute your program asynchronously instead of synchronous, and caller information where you will knowing the method from where it is being called and what it is being called, kind of thing, like call stack and scripting side. So these are the features in 5.0. And coming to the next version is 6.0. This is a 4.6 framework. It was released in 2015. It has the expression bodied methods, auto property initializer, a name of expression. If you look at this expression bodied method, so generally this expression bodied function members, which will allow you to write expression bodies for properties, so that instead of writing the statement blocks to the trend set the properties of class, so you can use this expression bodied function members and you can set the properties in the class so that it will reduce the lines of code in the C# program. And auto property initializer, this is nothing but when you declare a class properties, so like set and get, before this 6.0 C#, you don't have any feature to assign directly the value to the property value. So if you want to assign a value to the property after your declaration, like set and get property to the property, and in the main function or somewhere you have to assign it. But in C# 6.0, we have a feature to assign directly, the, like let us say, like public decimal extra price get and set equal to some 0.10 centimeter something. I can directly assign it during the creation of property method itself. And coming to the name of expression, this is the name of is a keyword where it can validate the property or the item which you are mentioning in the program. Let us say like have a table where it has some employee ID and employee name properties, column names, which are coming from the database. When I'm going to access these particular column names, I'm going to use like dataset dot tables of so and so dot rows of zero dot item of this column name I'm going to specify it. But if anything is misspelled, let us say like employee name, it was misspelled with employee names. At that time, it is going to give an exception, like object reference is not set, or it is having a null exception. So this kind of exceptions you will get it. But when you use the name of this expression, it will return you a string. So instead of throwing an expression when this is a valid property or the column which you are mentioning in the data set. So, and coming to the primary constructor, this is nothing but any constructor which we are using in C#, like default constructor, single parameter, and multi-parameter and named parameter. So there are different constructor we are using. This primary constructor is nothing but kind of default constructor where you can assign property values as part of this constructor declaration. So this name of expression, which will surely resolve some of the problems as developer faces when playing with the properties and notifications while assigning in the constructor. So in similar way, we have await in the catch block. So this is nothing but another keyword which comes in C# 6.0. When you have an exception handling try catch block, in the catch block, you can write a await keyword to wait to execute some lines of code in the catch block. And coming to the exception filter, this is also one more the new concept introduced in C# 6.0, like when any exception is coming and throwing into the exception block, if exception is denoting a if condition of expression, then we'll use when kind of if in the catch block catch up so and so exception if when so and so string, then do this. So kind of expression will be writing it for the key this exception filter going to be handled using a when keyword. Like if you look at if block, like the when keyword works like if a when condition is a predict expression which can be appended to the catch block. If the predicted expression is evaluated to be true, the associated catch block is going to be executed. Otherwise, the catch block is ignored. So this is something new feature was introduced in C# 6.0. And again, string interpolation. This is one more feature actually introduced in C# 6.0. This is basically using for replacement of string interpolation. The way that placeholders in the string are replaced by the value of string variable. An interpolated string looks like a template string that contains interpolated expressions. When the interpolated string is resolved to the result, this can be written as a string. So items with interpolated expressions are replaced by the string representation of the expression results. This is somewhat the string variable values validating using a string interpolation. So this is a way that the placeholders in a string are replaced by the value of string variable. So these are the different features which are being introduced in C# 6.0, and coming to the next version, this 7.0, and the .NET Core framework. After this 4.6 framework, we don't have another like 4.7 or 4.7 or 5.0 framework. This 5.0 framework itself called as a .NET Core component, where it has all these similar compatibility features along with new features they have been introduced. So far, we'll be seeing this 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, and 4.0, 5.0, 6.0. This is what the current running. Most of the organizations are working in C# 6.0. Of course, 7.0 also been released in 2017. But still, most of the companies which are being already started these things in developing C#, the version is 6.0. So this is 4.6 framework they are being. And slowly moving into the this .NET Core framework with C# 7.0. So hope you understand the what are all the features that have been released, release basis, like initial release what they have been released, and earlier last release what they have been released. So this way the C# has been introduced in the market to provide the competition for Java or Java development. So hope you understand the history and the the version number of C# has been released into the market with the different features. So please watch more videos on this YouTube channel and please subscribe. Thanks for listening.